Some people say they love you, but feel anger when you shine. Have you ever felt that? That someone close, a friend, a partner, even family, smiles at you, but something in their eyes betrays it? As if your happiness annoys them, even if they swear it doesn't? It's a silent pain. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It hugs you with one hand and hides a dagger in the other. If you've ever felt this, keep watching. This may be the moment your eyes finally open. Carl Jung warned us, what we do not confront in ourselves, we meet as fate. But what if fate wears the skin of the ones we trust most? In this video, we'll dive deep into the hidden signs that someone around you may silently hold resentment, envy, or even hate. And this resentment doesn't always scream. Sometimes, it hides in a joke that stings a little too much, in a compliment that feels more like a warning, in words that sound sweet, but leave a bitter aftertaste. These are 8 portals into relational unconsciousness, 8 broken mirrors in which you may see yourself, or someone you love. Because recognizing these signs isn't about judging others, it's about protecting your soul. And finally saying, enough to the invisible bond that drains your light. If you felt something shift inside you, keep watching. The signs I'll reveal might explain more than you ever imagined. And if even one of them speaks to your story, then share this message. Someone out there may need it as much as you did. Sign 1. The subtle violence of sarcasm. Not every wound is made with a blade. Some cut through laughter, through jokes that leave you doubting yourself. When sarcasm becomes constant, it stops being humor and turns into emotional poison. Jung warned, what we deny in ourselves, we project onto others. So ask yourself, does someone around you always joke about your joy? Do they disguise contempt as laughter? That's not a joke. That's a message. I can't stand your light. Sign 2. Silent sabotage. Disguised as care. And sometimes the attack isn't direct. It's a quiet pattern. Delays, forgotten reminders, advice that sounds helpful, but keeps you stuck. These people say they're worried, but somehow you're always one step behind when they're around. They sound helpful, but every step forward with them feels like walking in sand. This isn't about blame, it's about waking up. Because even love can wear the mask of sabotage. And here's the question. How many times have you failed to grow because you trusted someone who loved you, but also held you back? Carl Jung spoke of the inner enemy that projects itself onto the world. Often, the one who sabotages is only reflecting their own prison. They can't bear to see you achieve what they never dared to chase. Pay attention. That person who discourages you from trying something new, who always points out the risks, never the possibilities, who gives you advice, but it always plants doubt, fear, paralysis. This is the field where sabotage grows. Between what looks like support and what actually traps you. Have you heard phrases like, "Are you sure you want to do that? That doesn't really suit you. Why take the risk?" The real question is, who benefits when you shrink? Sign 3. The painful duel of silent competition. Could the next sign be even closer than you think? Let's talk about silent competition, the kind that starts with a smile and ends with resentment. Have you ever felt that someone around you turns everything into an invisible competition? That each of your wins sparks a sudden urge in them to show they also have, also know, also can. You share something that made you happy, and they respond with a quiet race. Oh, I've done that too, and even better. You achieve something, and they rush to flaunt something greater. You shine, and they speed up, as if your light threatened their existence. But why does it hurt so much? Because this unspoken competition is born where support should live. It grows where you expected closeness. It's a silent duel you never signed up for, yet you're still being judged. Carl Jung taught that others reflect what we hide in ourselves. But sometimes they also reflect what they can't face: a fragmented self-esteem, a hungry ego, a wounded child who never felt enough. Silent competition may come from their wounds, but it's your soul that pays the price. Have you noticed this? People who seem like friends, but only feel good when they're one step ahead? And here's the hardest question: how much have you dimmed your light just to avoid making someone else uncomfortable? Sign 4. Apparent kindness that hides control. Let's peel back another mask. The kind that smiles while hiding the need to control. Not all sweetness is real. Sometimes the soft tone is just polish. A thin layer hiding in a ocean of unspoken intentions, unresolved feelings, and shadows that prefer to smile from behind the curtains. Have you ever met someone who seems so good, yet their presence leaves you confused, drained, or even empty? Someone who compliments you, but deep down something doesn't sit right. Like there's a cold gaze behind the affection, a hollow presence disguised as connection. Apparent kindness is the shadow's most sophisticated mask. Carl Jung would call it the persona taken to the extreme, a role so idealized that it's disconnected from the true self. And those who wear this mask often have no idea they're playing a game. But they're still playing it. Help comes, but with a hidden cost. Affection comes, but with manipulation. Presence comes, but becomes a prison. Here's the question: do you feel like you owe something to someone who helped you, yet whose love always came with a price? True kindness frees you. False kindness traps you. And the most dangerous part? These people are often seen by others as angels, generous, exemplary. Only you read between the lines. Only you feel the discomfort after the hug, as if loving you was a performance, a show, an emotional transaction. Sign 5. Control disguised as protection. It's for your own good. I just want to protect you. You don't see it, but I know what's best for you. These phrases, said in sweet tones, may sound like love, but sometimes they echo something darker: a need to control, disguised as care. Have you ever felt guilty for wanting freedom? Ever hesitated to make a decision out of fear of disappointing someone who supposedly loves you? Have you noticed that their concern often has more to do with their feelings than with what you truly need? Carl Jung once said, "Where love rules, there is no will to power. And where power predominates, love is lacking." And it is exactly in this abyss between love and power that many relationships become sick. True care embraces, false care suffocates. Behind excessive help, there is often a hidden fear. Fear of losing control. Fear of no longer being needed. Fear of watching the other grow beyond the shared comfort zone. And you, how many times have you confused oppression with protection? The line between love and possession is thin, but your soul feels the difference. You have the right to be free, even if that displeases those who claim to love you. Sign 6. Constant criticism and subtle gossip. In the next block, we'll enter an even more corrosive territory: constant criticism and subtle gossip. When the tongue becomes a weapon of the shadow. They say it's just an opinion, that it's honesty, that they're only saying it for your own good. But some criticism doesn't enlighten. It only dims. And some words spoken behind your back hit harder than fists. Because they don't just harm your image, they try to sabotage your soul. Have you noticed someone close to you always pointing out your flaws? Someone who never truly praises you, but always has a comment about what you could have done better? Worse, who shares your vulnerabilities with others under the pretense of concern? Gossip is a slow poison. Disguised as casual conversation, it corrodes trust like rust. And constant criticism is the mirror in which the other projects their own self-loathing. Carl Jung said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. But when criticism becomes systematic and humiliating, and gossip is a constant, you're not standing before a mirror, you're standing before a disguised aggressor. And the question that echoes is, who truly supports you when you're not in the room? The way someone speaks about you in your absence reveals the quality of the bond you share. If affection disappears the moment you leave, maybe it never existed in the first place." Sign 7. Resentment toward your light. In the next block, we'll look directly at an even subtler emotional poison. Resentment toward your success, when your light disturbs those who dwell in the shadows. You share a victory, and they change the subject. You celebrate an achievement, and their response is dry, restrained, forced. You shine, and the room goes cold. Have you experienced this? Some people seem to root for you, but only as long as you stay at the same level, in the same place, in the same pain. The moment you break past your own limits, they pull away, or begin to sabotage you. Carl Jung called this unconscious envy one of the soul's most insidious poisons. It's not direct hatred. It's the quiet discomfort of someone who feels threatened by your expansion. Your victory exposes what they haven't been able to conquer in themselves. And the worst part? This resentment often comes from those who should be by your side. Those who call themselves friends, family, partners, but who deep down can't stand to see you grow because your flight confronts their stagnation. And here arises the hardest question. How many times have you hidden your victories just to avoid upsetting others? There's no healing while you keep shrinking your soul to fit inside someone else's comfort zone. True love celebrates your light. False love tries to dim it with silence, with coldness, with absence. Sign 8. The language of energy. In the next and final block, we'll talk about the hidden details, the small gestures that reveal truths no words can hide. Sometimes the soul senses it before the mind can think. You walk into a room, and you feel it. A subtle tension, averted eyes, a touch that doesn't come, a smile that doesn't reach the eyes. It's the details that betray what the other tries to hide. The body, after all, is the instrument of the shadow. It reveals what the persona tries to silence. Carl Jung said, "The most important things are not said, they are felt." And when someone secretly harbors anger, envy, or disdain toward you, those emotions leak out in the subtext, in their tone of voice, in the lack of enthusiasm, in word choice, or in a silence that weighs like lead. Have you ever felt something was wrong, even when everything seemed fine? That someone's energy didn't match their words? That there was coldness where there should have been warmth? That's the wisdom of the unconscious. It senses what the ego denies. So trust your intuition. Trust the subtle sensations. That tightness in your chest when certain names are mentioned. That slight exhaustion after talking to certain people. This isn't drama or paranoia. It's your soul saying, there is no real love here. And the final question is, who have you been holding on to, that your soul has been begging you to release? Because in the end, recognizing these signs isn't about accusing others. It's about liberating yourself. You no longer need to pretend you don't feel it, nor explain what your soul already understands. You weren't born to be dimmed, manipulated, or silenced. You were born to awaken, to remember your light. And light doesn't beg to be accepted. It simply shines. Carl Jung taught us that we do not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. And today, perhaps you've touched that darkness. Maybe you've recognized it in the eyes of someone too close and far from true love. Freedom begins when you stop denying, when you choose yourself, when you honor the intuition that tried to warn you so many times. And remember, cutting ties with someone who secretly hates you is not selfishness. It's healing. Now I invite you to take one step. Comment below. Which of these signs resonated the most with you? Like this video if it spoke to your soul. Share it with someone who needs to wake up from this same cycle. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next deep dive into the psyche and the heart. And watch the next video suggested here. It might be the next portal your soul needs to walk through. You are worthy of relationships that nourish. You are worthy of peace. You are worthy of true love. And the first step is choosing yourself. I'll meet you in the next deep dive, where your soul can keep remembering who you truly are.